Hello YouTube, Shroomies, Gandolf here. Today we're going to cover the early game progression. We just hit day 10, day 11. The parking lot has now unlocked, and I think this is the point where some of the players begin to struggle because of the wide range of different things that are now available in the game. It will get more complicated as souls unlock, the talent, and of course enchant unlocking, I think around 3 weeks in as well. So this will get on day 18. This will be on 15. So next week we'll probably cover both of these pieces of the content. Um, what I would say first, let's go over to Parking Wars. So Parking Wars is unlocked. Most of us probably would have 5 mounts by now, even if you're free to play. Recently there was the mount rush, and hopefully you have spent all your gems to get yourself to this mount. You can see mount remodeling. From parking lot, you're getting experience, which boosts your overall global stats. But each of these different mounts have a chance of dropping specific rewards. So here you can see this particular mount will give me an increased chance of getting red PAL. And then also this particular mount has a chance of also getting random red skills. So what I will always like to do is while I'm planning out, especially at the very beginning, is go to the parking lot screen, go to the server parking lot, and leverage one of these server spots for additional boosted chance of getting drops. And of course, more parking rewards. So overall, in these slots, I would like to usually park. This mount, as well as this mount over here, taking advantage as much of the 12 hours possible for drops over here. Now, as you are getting rewards in parking coins, you can now start buying decorations. I bought one already. And this one gives me 3 additional parking coins for just that amount of cost. There should be ones for 5% parking coins for 20,000, but start with the cheaper ones. They give you global stats as well. Surprisingly, at least in my friend list, I'm the only one that actually has a boost. Hopefully that encouraged more people to park at my spot. I've also turned on activate parking fees. Now, the benefit of parking fees is, no, it's not for me to boost more of my coins. I set it on the minimum. The reason why is that when someone finishes or when they're full, I can claim it for them. Moreover, when they park here and pay a fee, I can help protect them if they're a weaker player. Now, hopefully your server is very friendly and there's very little plundering of each other's mounts early on. I know it does happen early game. You're tempted to, for example, like I can beat Sarah here, but I'm not going to plunder Sarah because I'm nice. And the amount of parking coin you gain at this point in time is more important to make friends on your server. This is very much a cooperative game. Don't be a jerk and, just because you're strong, go around beating everybody. Because, if someone's picking on you, you can actually call for help. And when you call for help, and you can actually do this on other people's parking lot as well. So if someone's really picking on you, you find all their mounts, right? And you call for help. And then literally someone who's really strong in your server can go around and plunder all their mounts, and it becomes very nasty going forward, and you don't want that happening on your server. Oh look, I just got another piece. Excellent. So maybe I'll take this opportunity to talk about gear. At this point, I've just got to level 20, and luckily I think in close to 20,000 lamps, this is now my 5th piece. Wow. And I still got 3,000 left to go. Not going to be able to get level 100, I don't think, but at level 100, I plan to switch to the archer class. This is when you can really start taking advantage of having a second set of gear plan. You can see here, I've actually picked a piece that this is decent for either the warrior class, or even if I want to move to the archer class, at least the crit rate is there. I can just, in the middle of rolling here, I can select gear plan, switch over to the other gear plan, and I can put a particular piece over there. And if I ever want to swap a piece, I can, for example, use this. I can equip it, right? And now I can actually move over to my main set, switch plan, and put this piece on, equip, and then I can come back to the other piece here, and then now I will put my supreme piece there. Sorry, that was a mistake. But I can switch over to my gear plan 2, switch plans, and you got to be really careful, right? You want to equip, and make sure at the very end, the one you're selling is the piece that helps you swap, right? Yep, this is all okay. And then now you swap back to your, you go to your gear plan, you go back to the main gear plan you're using. So this is going to be really helpful because later on, it's much harder for you to get, the right substats that you need. For example, this is the perfect substats for mage. Then for you to actually get a higher tier quality of gear later on. Because the odds, you need the probability of rolling both stats on the one you want, right? So what you end up seeing is level 120, 130. You might still see one piece of Supreme that you need. And we'll go over to my main account on the main end of the video as well to just show you where that's at as well. And you can see why, a lot of these Supreme pieces were kept for a really long time to wait for, getting the best substats you can for your particular class. So this is a point where gearing becomes really important. Even if you get like an Aureus piece later on, as long as it's not 2 substats that you want, you might want to make sure you save it. Only when you get a better piece with double substats of the one you want, you can throw it away. And oh my god, today has been super lucky. And this is another perfect piece for mage. Wow. And yeah, the other one, I don't think I'll ever need it, so I don't need it for any class, so I can actually sell it. It's unfortunate it doesn't replace one of my other pink pieces, but that was a really good piece, again, for mage. I've been talking about going to archer class. I'm actually thinking about switching over to archer class as soon as I hit level 100. But with all this luck on mage, maybe I will stay a mage. You will find out in the next video whether or not I switch or not. But in generally speaking, what I'll say is, when we talk about PvE progression, the archer class by far is the most efficient compared to any of the other classes for PvE progression. The main difference comes from souls, because the archer set has combo and boss on the same soul piece, and that's one of the main reasons why the archer class is so efficient at doing a lot of damage to boss content, and not so much for the other classes. And of course you get, it's really your main DPS class. So highly recommend everybody switching over to archer, plume, monarch once you get to a point in PvE progression where you're kind of stuck. Early game, the prophet class is super helpful because of additional cooldowns and lengthening the active skills. So for example here, I'm using hero ascent only because I don't have a better option. You can see that I'm using this, but it's supposed to last only 10 seconds, but because I'm a prophet, it actually lasts 14 seconds on the screen. So here you can see my the little guy is still hammering away, and because my cooldown, pretty much whenever he runs out, I can have him back on the screen. So it actually is a decent amount of DPS boost. So you can see he's still on the screen. I'm able to cast it all over again. Works really well with the cloud lightning. It's really good for PvP as well as a mage pet. I'm also trying to get a pumpkin, but if I don't get it, this is Horus. Hopefully, let's get Horus for the archer class when I'm ready to switch over. Please, this is like my 4th or 5th time trying to get one. Yes, I finally got it, and it has shroom combo on it. Perfect. So I just now need I need a shroom combo, and I need a rage on it, and I'll be good to go for my archer class, and it's gonna be super helpful early game. So yeah, I'm almost set, ready to go with that, with this new PAL. And of course, like I mentioned in the previous video, please be a good citizen on your server. When you have a good avian, everyone desperately needs it. I'm actually even going to share with people right now that I got lucky and I got this avian with shroom combo on it. And you can share. I'm going to share this in my family chat here. Add me if you need this. Right? I can't emphasize enough how important it is to be cooperative in this game, because it's really a server versus server based game. You don't want to be the jerk on your server, and try to help everybody out. So that's kind of all the early game tips. Remember, as I mentioned, even though here, right, don't use your skill draws and PAL draws because there are rush events for them and you want to get points in those. And early on, what's most critical for you really are some of the immortal PALs that you unlock through this. So for example, like for most classes, like the treasure dragon is probably the most critical one because it increases 50% base critical damage as well as skill crit, so both super helpful for like pretty much all of your classes. And then on the skills set, everybody, all right, is looking for to be able to unlock Blitz Assault, which is key in PvP to get that 3 seconds of damage immunity. It's going to be really important later on for PvE as well, simply because later on you are not going to be able to survive much stuff in PvE content. You're gonna get one shot in many places where you go. So having Blitz, getting that 3 seconds of damage in, is gonna be very important later on in the game. So and you can't get pink pets or skills for those specific ones through your parking rewards. But right now, I think as soon as I can't remember if I can actually find red ones in here already, but I know for sure. I think when we get to Chaos, we get those in drops. And of course, in mounts, oh, great, Sarah just reached out. This is where, where you want to be able to help other players out. And of course, all of your red skills and pals could come from your mount drops, so you don't have to worry about spending all of your tickets here. Save it for the mount. So maybe last part of the video, I do want to talk a little bit about spending and of course Aptoid. Here, every time when a major spend event comes around, there are these pals you can unlock. And of course, this is like one of the key pals for the Archer class. And I'm very tempted to get it, but because I already have a main account, I'm going to stay true to free-to-play spirit on this particular account, which I make free-to-play content on. I will be making more spender and willing account or spender content on my other account, which I'll show briefly. I also noticed that, on the current event, there are some players that already spent a lot of money doing these draws to get the second round of these mounts. And all I'll say is, it's my goal of my channel is to help player play as efficiently as possible. That comes to spending as well. I'm like one of the top 3 players on my main server, and we'll go over there right now, actually. Sorry. Switch account. And I only spent basically the equivalent of probably some of those players in one go. And I spent about maybe no more than 1,000 USD at this point. The account is about, I think, 3 to 4 months old. I'm the second kind of on the server right now. Maybe tied. We're Peachy and I tied kind of second here. But you can see this is my main account. What's really key is on the anniversary event, I got myself the cheetah mount, which is by far the number one, the best mount in the game. It's okay, you can unlock all of these other mounts if you want, but really you can only use one mount. And all you're getting is really that global defense stat. So spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to unlock a mount that is not absolutely key for your class is not necessary. So really just wait for when the cheetah mount is back. And of course for the artifact item over here, what was really lucky here is this is the enchant feature, by the way. So this will unlock, I think, on week 13 or so. All of these artifacts, all of these require spending with the exception of Chaotic Warhammer. It will come back on the spinner event. And the first time it comes back, I believe, is week 18. So by then, everybody should have saved for 500 coins by then if you want to get this. This is the only free-to-play one. I talked about it in an earlier video. But this Divine Champion was available during the anniversary event for getting it. And I got it on the first one, and the second one was Cheetah. So it saved me a ton of money in terms of getting it. But you really just need one really solid artifact. There's a lot of comparable artifacts, that are really good. Like, for example, people Beast Roar Bowl is probably one of the best artifacts you can get for Archer. Where's the candle? I think arguably Where's the candle? Can't find it. There we go. I see it. So the candle here, right? This gives you a huge amount of healing. It's really good potentially for both the prophet class if you want to do a heavy healing build that stalls out. Same with for your warrior class. Like this, in theory, like these are perhaps the best artifact you can use for those classes, right there. Like because I'm not a major whale, I can't go into detail and showcase all of this. If you see on my channel, I do Infinite Magic Raid content a lot, and in that one, there's a deal with the devs where they kind of give content creator a lot of in-game currency so that we can go around buying all of these items. I wish they do the same thing for this game. I haven't heard of anybody able to strike a deal with the devs for this games yet, but like, so really we have to spend our own money to buy all of these things. But you can see, like, what you really want to do in these events is a couple of things you're really looking for. Especially if you're a low medium spender, what you want to do here is really look for these unique POWs, because these are the POWs that are probably the most useful coming out of it. You need to spend hundreds of dollars if you want to go for the particular artifacts that are coming through. So always look for a guide and video, like in terms of whether or not these are really best in slot. Or I haven't seen a lot of power creep in this game, which is why one of the reasons why I opted to eventually start playing and covering this game is because with this my main account, I really had to just whale one time and I was able to sustain my lead. On a regular basis, what I really just need to purchase in terms of the privileges, I just mainly want to keep the trial card on. And maybe I'll probably only need to do it for another 2 months or so, because when I finish my talent, for the most part, like I finished 1 tree already. Like when I finish up to 4 trees, I can pretty much slow down my even spending on that as well. So on this account, you can see progression wise, I finished the dark trials for all of them to stage 10 a while ago already. When it comes to ranking, I am second cross server on it. That's why I say PC and I are tied really closely together. I'm doing about almost 15 bill on the 15,000 trillion. So that's 15 quintillion, I guess, damage on the lava boss there. So progression wise, you can see my lamp levels. I guess you can't see it because I don't have any keys, but it's about 140 here, 130 something here, 130 something down here as well. Of course, Flame Temple, everything's at level 25. This is the moment where I can switch over, right? And here you can see I've actually got myself a full mage set ready to go, ready to switch over. So you can see every piece is skill crits done. I'm just trying to breed a really good mage avian and trying to look for some better enchants. So once I'm ready, I'm able to actually enjoy some PvP as a Dark Lord. So this is kind of like late game, and of course I'll cover mid to late game progression, how to get yourself to here. But if you're spending, do consider using Aptoid. Here, for example, like again, this is, I already have this POW, but like for example, if I want to switch over to mage, I want to wait until the Night Fox is back. So the Night Fox POW is over here. So a lot of these red POWs, right, they come from these spending events. So for example, I already collected the one for warrior class because I was contemplating to get warrior class. Oh, I actually already got it. So here's the Night Fox. I got it on one of the events. But these spending events where I increase crit skill damage in your POWs, I will want to get those specifically from here. This game is not, if you spend wisely, you really don't have to spend too much. If you want to be really, really competitive, you really only just have to whale once. Once you go from there, you just need to play consistently, get ahead on talent, and you'll be fine. So again, for Aptoid, I will leave the information for Aptoid in the description below. And hopefully, that will help you with cutting down your spending and spend more efficiently. I was able to, if I look at the spending event, it was like 13,000, I think, during anniversary for that event when I got both Cheetah and The artifact, I spent $1,300 or so on this progress bar, but I actually only had to spend $800 USD in real money. So Aptoide saves a ton of money when you do that. All right, I hope that's really helpful for you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Gandolf out.